What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the True Big Blue Podcast with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. And we get ready to get into the intro, but we're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers. We play them week 2 here in the preseason. Time to get it in, so let's go. Get ready, click into the intro. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access with Big Pat Sports Talk, where you get the latest and realest Giants news and content. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and become an official Big Blue Crew member? Hit the join button in the description. Wanna look fly? Is some Big Pat Sports Talk merch? Head over to the Big Pat Sports Shop and grab you some gear. The link is in the description.
New York Giants full access, all Giants, all the time. All right, Giants fans. New York Giants full access is now live. Enjoy the show.
All right. Looks like I'm by myself so far tonight, but it is what it is. What's going on, game, man? Big Blue Crew, thank you guys for tuning in. And we got a preseason game coming up this Friday against the Carolina Panthers. And I'm actually excited to call this game for you guys on Friday because we're going to be able to see the first team offense, man. And Daniel Jones, we get ready to see Daniel Jones, Barkley, Waller, Paris Campbell, Slayton, Hodgins on the field together for the first time, and I think it's going to be a pretty good game, man. I think they're going to play probably extensive minutes in the first quarter, then they're going to pull them out. So I don't know what you guys think. What do you think you're going to see from the offense in the first preseason game that they play this year? Get to the chat. Shout out to Eric Johnson. What's going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. D. Dan Shelton, thank you for tuning in. Shin, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Iman, what's going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Wells, what's going on? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. What's going on, man? Thank you guys for tuning in, man. If anybody want to come on and talk about the Giants, I'll put the link in the chat. But I truly believe that this team's offense is going to be pretty dynamic this year. We haven't seen Daniel Jones with weapons on the field with him as far as legit weapons that you have to worry about. And this year we picked up Paris Campbell. You have to pay attention to him. Jalen Hyatt, you have to pay attention to him. Waller, you definitely have to pay attention to him. Barkley, we already know what Barkley is about, man. So I don't know what you guys think in the chat, man. What's going to happen this year with the Giants offense? Iman, what's going on, man? He says they need to play starters at least one quarter. Iman says, I love that name. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Yeah, that's one of the best names in the game, man. Yeah, I think we're going to be vanilla on Friday, but it's just going to be exciting seeing those guys on the field together for the first time. in an actual game going against somebody else. So that's what I'm excited for, Frank. I truly believe that we're going to see some exciting football from the Giants this year. Real talk. Frank Waiters, thank you for tuning in. Emon Perry says 12-5. Yeah, I got us at 13-4, but 12-5 won't be mad at that. Wells, he says the Giants defense going to look good this year. Yeah, it is. What's going on, Taj?
What's going on, Pat?
Almighty Finesse, what's going on, man? Taj, what you think about seeing the first string offense for the first time this year in this preseason game? I believe they will play the first quarter. Well, what do you think about that?
I'm excited to hear that, man. Hey, Daniel Jones, Darren Waller. Is Saquon? You think Saquon plays or no? Probably not,
I think
right?
he may play a he might play a series.
He
Might
play
play
a
a series.
series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the first team O lineman, with Andrew Thomas and them. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see those guys, playing a real game. Not just in joint practices, or in regular practices or whatever. Like we get to see them, in real action.
Right. Yeah, no Mets. They did rank our defensive line number 1 in the league. That was very surprising. D-Dan, he says we will be pleasantly
Coming from
surprised by the
ESPN,
offensive output this season. Right. What's going on, Terrence Crawford?
Hey,
King
what
Blue.
up, bud?
Right, bud. What's going on, King Blue?
Hey guys,
What's going on, Joe?
I'll be with you in about 10 minutes. I'm still waiting for my daughter to show up to get my granddaughter. So
Okay.
all right. So I'm going to be, when you see the stream clear in the background, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Tudo, what's going on, Tudo? He says massive salutes and respect the big boss Pat King of Wales, Taj, and all diehard Giants fans of the building. What's going on, Tudo? Appreciate you tuning in. The Giants defense. Since we're talking about the Giants defense, it says that Wink pulled Kayvon Thibodeaux in front of the group, and he talked to Kayvon Thibodeaux about being a beast this year. And he said he should be the best at a lot of things this year. So we're going to play a little clip from Kayvon Thibodeaux.
You want to be a better player than you were.
I mean, this league is, if you're not growing, you're losing. So if I don't become a better player, I'm gonna be out in 3 years, and that's the truth to the NFL. So just understanding that, if I want to be here for a long time, it got to be a continuous growth. And T-Mac, he always talks about Kaizen, which is the act of continuous growth. So, just respecting the game and continue to grow here.
What's a good Kayvon?
So I don't know if you guys heard, they try to make it out to be a big deal, but all Wink did was pull Kayvon Thibodeaux in front of the group and basically tell him that he's going to have to be a leader for this group in order for them to be very, very good this year. And I believe that's a true statement. Kayvon Thibodeaux is a talent, and he needs to be that guy that offenses have to worry about every week, in every play, and every snap. So I do appreciate Wink Martindale pulling him to the side and letting him know that, hey, you got to be that guy this year in order for us to be the defense that we want to be. Shout out to Errol Spence in the building. He said, man down, Big Fish, Texas in the building. Salute. What's going on, Errol? Hopefully you can bounce back from that whooping Bud gave you.
Yeah.
But Wells, he says the coach. Right. Wells says the coaching staff is legit, proper NFL coaching, no running laps BS. That's true. We do have some of the most legit coaches in the league. Brian Daboll to Kafka to Wink Martindale. But one coach that everybody's having questions about is OG Bobby Johnson. I don't know, Taj. Do you have questions about OG Bobby Johnson?
I mean, like with the way how the O line has been looking, I mean, I think he has, like some of the blame into it, but but at the same time, the O lineman, has to, do their job too.
Right. I mean,
especially the veterans, especially the veterans too. Like Gawinski and them.
I mean, Glowinski. Oh man, Glowinski is a whole. Do you feel that Glowinski is a guy that we can depend on this season?
I mean, honestly, I really don't think so because I think our starting O line is going to be Andrew Thomas at the left tackle, John Michael Smith at the center, Evan Neal at the right guard. Not a guard spots, man. That's the thing with the guards. With the guard spots, like we don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening at the guard spots. I believe Ben Bredesen, he's doing a good job. Good job. But Zudu, he has a lot. He has a ways to go. And Glowinski, man, it's a. I don't want to say Glowinski is a problem.
Yes, he is.
But he has to step up, man. He has to step up for us in order for this offensive line to be good. Evan Neal, we still haven't seen Evan Neal. I think he cleared concussion protocol today, but they said that he was getting his ankle taped up for a lot of the practice today. So I don't know. Shout out to Derek James in the chat. What's going on? Lou, what you think about this offensive line?
No, we don't, Big Fridge. Oh man.
All right. What you want first, the good or the bad?
The bad.
I just want you to talk about the offensive line.
I know, but what do you want first? My good or bad?
It don't matter.
Okay. Well, the bad is apparent. Okay. We got 3 big names on there who we haven't seen through preseason yet. But so far, we know that if any of them 3 big names go down, we in a whole lot of trouble. Our depth sucks at tackle, at center, and at guard. Now, I think that our starting 5 is good. I think our starting 5 can gel together and become one of the best offensive fronts in football. But until that happens, we need them guys in the backup roles to step up and step up fast. Because if we have one injury on that O-line, it's going to be the equivalent of Jake Fromm coming in there for Daniel Jones.
Right. Man, because if we got to depend on Cunningham and Wyatt Davis this year,
son of a bitch,
Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life again.
He going to break his neck for real this time. Jesus Christ.
Black old P77, thank you for tuning in, bro. Appreciate you coming back in. Honey Badger, what's going on? Iman Perry, I don't want to talk about next year, but that is very true. I think we will be drafting guards next year for sure. D-Dan, he says he's not the ideal guy for us. Joshua Zuda needs to show us he's worth his draft position. Yeah, we did take a Zuda in the 3rd round, but this is really still his rookie year because he really got injured his rookie year. He
had a whole lot of our rookies last year were injured.
Yeah. He injured his neck last year, and McKeithen didn't even get past the white and blue game. So, man, I don't know. I don't know, Lou. But you never got to the good.
The good is I like our starting front five, even with a Zudu in there. I think that given a little couple weeks, 5-6 weeks, this O line will be real good. Barring any injury, I think we can become one of the best offensive lines in the league. That's the good. The bad is we don't have enough depth. If we have one injury, we're looking at a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean the good news, besides what Lou said, the good news is that I believe John Michael Schmitz is the real deal. I think he's legit.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to be a very good center for us moving forward.
For a long time.
I told everybody that before the draft, though. Fact.
Yeah, I was saying that before the draft too. I wouldn't mind if we took him in the first round, but we got him in the second round somehow, some way. The Jets took a center, and it was Tippmann instead of Schmitz. So it is what it is. What's going on, Honey Badger? I believe we had the best left tackle in the game for sure. Besides Trent Williams from the 49ers, obviously, but I think Andrew Thomas is right behind him, and he's not far behind Trent Williams. Right tackle, it's a question mark. We have to see what Evan Neal is doing. Right guard is a question mark. And to be honest with you, left guard is a question mark. We have to start turning some of the... Go ahead, Taj.
You see that, Lou?
It's about time.
Yeah, I finally got the classic jerseys.
It's about time you put some respect on Barkley's name there, Taj. No.
What's up, Coach? If you want to come on, Coach, I'll put the link in the chat for you, Coach. Right, sprinkle some people, man.
I'm gonna sprinkle some game on you, bitch.
No Mets, no Jets. He says, is JMS looking better than the guys the Jets drafted? Yes, he is. The Jets' offensive line is not looking very good at all.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not looking up. Right. He said AT is younger than Trent. Advantage AT. Yes, that is true. If you're building a franchise today, more than likely you're going to choose.
You take Andrew Thomas.
Skip my Shopify link. All right. I see how you do.
Yep, I'm skipping it.
Well, y'all go to G Nation Sports Shop on myshopify.com and buy some damn merch.
He says,
that's
Andrew,
my sales tactic. Buy some damn merch.
Right.
Yeah.
He said Andrew Thomas is the best tackle in the game. He goes up against Michael Parsons every year. That is true. That's very true. Man, I don't know. My thing,
Rutgers.
My thing, lagging. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, gang? What's up? How y'all doing?
What's going on? If you didn't see the link that, right, G Nation put in the chat, go to the G Nation Sports Shop and cop some more merch from myshopify.com. Cop you some merch, man. Go get you some 11-6 shirts. That's the floor this year. I think we go 13-4, but 11-6 is the floor.
Embroidered hoodie or the hat or the toboggan.
Yep. Will said Hard Knocks told us that last night. They said the Jets offensive line was garbage on Hard Knocks.
That's what it looked like.
Knicks, right? What's going on, Knicks? 100. That is hilarious.
Yeah,
BK Goodson, what's going on? He says Hyatt going to wear these defenses down. Yeah. That's the thing.
Godson.
Oh God, when I say Goodson, Godson. That's the thing I want to talk about too. Definitely with the crew and Coach, since you're here. How do you think we use Jalen Hyatt this year? Even though I believe that he's a dynamic player, he still is a rookie. He still is very inexperienced. His route running is not where it needs to be. It's not terrible, but he doesn't know how to explode and get low in his routes yet. So how do you feel we use Jalen Hyatt this year, Coach?
Initially, they're going to start slowly. They'll work him on the outside. Probably work him off the ball on the outside. A lot of vertical routes because of his speed to threaten the back end of the defense, trying to get them to open up and then trying to work something underneath. And then crossers. Get them, something short. Let them catch the ball and run away from guys, especially if we're going up against teams that like to run man. But slowly but surely integrate him into the offense and get him comfortable to work and develop his pass route running. So that way he becomes that much more of a threat in the passing game. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So I figure by midseason, he should be starting to gain a little bit more confidence in his route running and test the waters a little bit more because he would be good sometimes pushing a defensive back and then coming back on some type of a hitch or a curl route because that defensive back is going to open up and start to bail, and that'll give him great separation. And if we get the ball to him quickly, he now has the opportunity to turn and make a move on the defensive back and get him grabbing the air. And Lord knows if he is on the sideline, makes a cornerback miss, the safety is deep in the middle of the field and can't get there, man, that's going to be sprinkling something on them, man.
Game on your bet.
Exactly.
I think they're gonna use him in the the deep post game, post corners, fly routes, deep digs across the field, post in the middle of the field. I think a lot of times they're gonna use him as a decoy and put that speed on the field and make those safeties respect his speed. And we can work underneath with our receivers like Paris Campbell, like Slayton getting open on out routes now. And then those curls and not digs, but hitch routes will definitely be a factor with his speed because you have to respect his speed. Because if you just stand there and think you're just gonna do something and just run stride for stride with him, it's not gonna happen. He's one of those guys, if he's even, he's leaving. And shoot, if you just barely in front of him, he might be leaving you. So you're gonna have to be a pretty good corner.
Yeah, them safeties better back up. They better back it up.
Right.
Look, all I can say is if you think you're going to be able to make a move on him and be even with him, put some butter and some jelly on you because you are toast.
Right.
He's
toast.
Ain't nobody safe.
What's going on, Bookends? Thank you for tuning in. Raphael Sotrin, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He says overhyped Jets going to fall on their faces. Aaron going to blame everybody except for himself. If they fall on their faces, that's exactly what he's going to do. Javi, what's going on, Javi? He said Hyatt is going to be a beast. I do believe so. Nix, he says 2 tight ends, 1 receiver set will make Hyatt deadly. Yes, it will. If you put Waller and Hyatt on the field at the same time with Campbell, yeah, it could be an absolute problem. El Capitan, what's going on, El Capitan? Hope you're doing well, brother. Honey Badger, he says, will the starters play Friday? I will be in the building. Yes, you will get to see the starters play at least a series. I know at least one series. He's going to give them at least one series, but they may play the whole first quarter. They're still debating. Bookend, he says, the good thing about Hyatt is that he's not a body catcher like some speed receivers. He has soft hands and can make contested catches. That is very true, and I am so glad he's not a body catcher. I don't think we have a body catcher on this team anymore.
Yeah, you saw Darius Slayton. I'm trying to fix that.
If we do have
was it Wheaton Ford? He right now he's shown he's a body catcher, but that's confidence. But if he doesn't get his confidence up, it's going to be he's going to be a body catcher, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a problem, but
I'm not a big fan of body catchers like that. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
No, I've never been a fan of a body catcher because those pads, that ball hit those pads, man. That ball can bounce anywhere, man. You got to catch it with your hands. Go look at some film of Chris Carter. He'll show you how to catch it with your hands. Frank Waiters, he says teams won't be able to sell out on the pass game now. Too many weapons. Well, they won't be able to sell out on the run game this year for sure. Sell out on the pass game. They won't just be able to stay in that damn zone like they were last year, and everybody having their eyes on Daniel Jones every freaking pass.
Not even get on the back pedal.
Man, Iman, if he does 1,500 yards and 15 TDs, we won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think Bryce Ford Wheaton definitely will get better. I don't see how you can be disappointed in Bryce Ford Wheaton. He only had one play. like you gotta give a man a chance. One play, he don't make one catch. You're disappointed. He's terrible. Get him out of here. Good
you
Lord.
Can't be too excited or disappointed. He made one play.
He only had one play. He says, I think Slayton would benefit from Hyatt speed too. I think this whole offense will benefit from Hyatt speed. He says Hyatt is going to cook dig. Go ahead.
His speed will definitely open up the run game, like you were saying, Pat, and that's a great benefit for Barkley because now teams are going to have to play too high, and if you're doing that, that's taking a man out of the box. And as long as we block it up front, you're getting you're getting Saquon 1-on-1 with a linebacker. I'm gonna take that 9 times out of 10, man. I really
or Darren Waller in the seam right in the middle of the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That opens, and man, if Darren Waller can get consistent 1-on-1 coverage with linebackers and little DBs, he is going to have a dominant year and will be the best tight end in the league after this year. I promise you that. You allow that man to have 1-on-1 coverage for the whole year, it's going to be a problem. Frank Waiters, he said, I see Bryce Ford Wheaton at worst on the practice squad. Yes, but if he makes it to the practice squad, how long will he be there? That's the question. Because he is a talent to where you could get an absolute steal with him. So I don't know how long he would be on the practice squad if he did. But Coach, what are you expecting to see from the first offense in this Panthers game? What are you expecting to see?
Number one, the blocking up front. I'm expecting to see some type of development with the blocking, especially after last week. If Lewinsky is in there, how does that help Schmidt? If you have Bredesen on the other side, and then now that you would have hopefully 2 competent tackles, as long as Neal plays, how does that develop in the run game? Number one, and how do they protect DJ? Does that allow us to, as we're saying, get downfield and attack the opposition? Are we able to capitalize on Darren Waller? Are we able to get Barkley to the edge sometimes in the run and get outside and get up the sideline? I mean, because the Panthers, they do have some talent on the defensive side of the ball. We have to, while it may not be the elite of the elite, you still have to respect them. And that's one of the things I want to look at. What are we going to do in terms of that defensively? Since we have, but according to ESPN, since we have the number 1 defensive line, let's get after it, guys. Let's get after it. The Panthers.
Don't nobody want no smoke with the New York Giants, bro.
The Panthers' offensive line did not look good against the Jets. So get after that, and
especially them stinking Washington condoms, aka the foreskins. I mean Redskins.
Bryce Young, bro. I mean, this ain't Alabama anymore, bro.
Welcome
to the NFL. So, and you know what? I don't have no pity for you. You about ready to face the beast, man. Let's go. Let's get him.
Right. Shout out to Chris D for being in the chat. Alex, Big Blue in the Bronx, thank you for tuning in. Tommy for one, Tommy, he says, Waller, Parrish, Shep, footwork and release to create separation is rubbing off on the rest of the room. It shows something we have never had on top, cutting down on drops. True. Andrew, what's going on? I put the link in the chat if you want to come on, bro. You too, Alex. Yeah, if we could just cut down on the drops this year, Daniel Jones would probably pass for over 4,000 yards. Just to be honest with you. If we cut down on the drops,
Burton.
man.
That's
What's
a
going
fact,
on, Mr.
bro,
Burton?
because especially them key clutch drops that Slayton made. I think with all the competition, it's only gonna make him step up, and I think he'll reduce them drops significantly this year because he can't afford to drop it, or he'll be on the bench with all this talent we got there now.
That is very true. And then I want to talk about the receiver position, but one receiver position, the slot receiver position.
Oh yeah,
The slot receiver position is
You gotta
loaded.
love them slot receivers.
Yeah. It's a slot machine over here, man.
Right.
Pause on hitting the slots.
We got Crowder. We got Shep. We got Robinson when he gets back. We got Cole Beasley. Like, who makes this team out of those guys, man? I think there's only 2 spots available, and there's 4 guys fighting for those 2 spots. Like, who gets those spots on this team? Because Crowder, even when he caught the ball in the first preseason game, he looked fast. He still got his speed. And that's something we can use. Right. Cole Beasley still got it. Crowder has kick return capabilities. But Drew, I see you just came on. You want to speak about that? Go ahead.
Go. I mean, I would say Cole Beasley, just based on how involved he was in that first game, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Giants have a plan for him. And we all know that he was somebody they looked at getting, 2-3 times the last year. You know, every single chance they got, they're like, we want Cole Beasley, we want Cole Beasley. You don't go ahead and give up on a player you've been trying to get for that long. Unless he does something really bad at that point there. And he had other options of where to go as well. I think there was a little bit of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that like, hey, just do your thing and you'll make the roster. So I do think he will be on the roster there. But we have to see who's also healthy. With this Giants receiving group, let's be honest, we still had a couple weeks to go. 1 or 2 guys may not be healthy at the start of the season here. And you may see a couple guys dropping, coming up and down at that point off the practice squad, the pup and all that kind of stuff there as things progress. But I do think it's weird from a team that we haven't had good receivers in how many years. And there's probably going to be 1 or 2 that do get dropped that another team will pick up. And that's going to be actually a nice thing to see. As much as I hate losing players, it's going to be a nice thing to see that Joe Shane went out and finally got depth at that position after getting guys that were bagging groceries weeks before last year.
Right. I mean, it might be a pain to lose Crowder, man, because he's shown he still got it, man. Beasley showing that he still got it, even though Beasley's having a foot problem, so he won't be playing in the Panthers game more than likely. So that's going to give Crowder an opportunity. And Shep might even play this Panthers game. And Wan'Dale Robinson slowly trying to creep his way back onto the field, trying to get off the PUP list. So, and Robinson's not going anywhere.
No.
Because he was a 2nd-round pick. So Robinson's not going anywhere. So do we keep 3 slot receivers? Go ahead.
Well, here's a good question for you. Does Shep have to play to prove he deserves a spot?
That's another question, because Shep, we all, as many jokes as we had about Shep, calling him Riggs and everything, Riggs look good out there at practice. Riggs still got it. So I don't know, man. This is crazy. Jada the Champ, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. Sarkon, thank you for tuning in. Shep's still showing that he got it. If Shep still got it, he's a legit threat on the field when he's on the field. He's one of DJ's favorite targets. Coach, I don't know, man. Talk about that. And yes, Tommy, I'm going to talk about Gronk as well, but go ahead, Coach.
If I'm going to count the slot guys, Shep, Robinson, and Beasley make the squad. And, they all bring similar things, but they also can bring different things to the table. So, Shep can still play on the outside. Robinson can also play out of the backfield. Heck, he can even on occasion play a little bit of running back just to give a different look. And, Beasley, he's dynamic in the slot, quick. His separation, you saw that little move where, he still, had defensive back running towards the sideline, and he spun and went right up the seam pretty much to gain some big yardage. So his quickness, causes defensive backs to, be hesitant. You can't go full out because that little guy is going to make you miss. Even for an older guy. So they all bring something different, even though they can all play out of the slot position. So I see those three making it. Crowder, if anything, he'll end up on the practice squad. Don't forget his returnability. I mean, yes, they look at Gray, but do they give him a chance? And if he goes out there, does he really take advantage of it and really capitalize and make it difficult for the organization? So, that's my thought on it.
I'll tell you what, E-Man Perry. Don't nobody want no Gronkowski on the New York Giants. He can keep his ass riding the pine out of the NFL on the commentators making commercials and shit. Don't nobody want his ass on the New York Giants.
I can't see him coming back to the NFL.
Talking about Daboll's the only one that'll get him out of retirement. Well, Daboll's ain't calling for your old ass.
Hey, you can talk that hate on Gronkowski if you want to.
I don't like no Patriots.
Dude's a force. That dude's a force.
Yeah, I would take him in a heartbeat still.
Right.
A heartbeat.
I get it in his prime, but right now he's been out, and it's hard to get back in football shape like that.
And his timing and rhythm is with Brady, not DJ.
Yeah, but he knows Daboll personally. But I will say this: he would just be a red zone threat. He would be a red zone threat. But not even bringing him to the team, just him saying that lets me know that people think the Giants are going to be good behind the scenes. Because he wouldn't be talking about coming out of retirement for a bum team. He's only going to come out of retirement to try to get a ring because that's all he has to play for. He's proven himself. He's going to go down maybe as the greatest tight end ever if it wasn't for Kelsey.
Or Tony Gonzalez.
I'll take him over Tony G. Even though Tony G was a monster in his day, him and O'Shea. Tony G was a monster, man. He was the original tight end like that. Then you had Antonio Gates.
If Tony was to get drafted this year, he'd be better than all the tight ends in the league right now. If Tony Gonzalez was just coming into the league,
he would. All these boys. Yeah,
and Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm. Because they'll be used.
He played in a different era where it wasn't as much passing, and the fact that he did what he did in the era that was run based is phenomenal.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, but that statement that he made just lets me know that people behind the scenes think the Giants are going to be pretty damn good, and there's no way he'll be talking about coming out of retirement to play for Daboll if he felt that we weren't going to be shit. That's just honest truth because he has nothing else to play for.
Well, it's also, I think, just him trying to show some respect to a previous coach of his, too, as part of it. Whether he thinks it or not, you still want to show respect to people you have respect for, But it's interesting he didn't say the Patriots, considering the success he had there. Obviously, with Brady gone, you don't think of him as the Bucs anymore. But that's the one thing I kind of find interesting in that is he didn't say the Patriots, because you would think there should be some relationship between him and Belichick there. But obviously there's not.
Right. You said Gronk too big for cornerbacks and faster than linebackers. Yeah, he probably still is faster than those guys.
That arthritis
I don't know, man.
Them knees. He using sand.
Yeah, he says, yeah, we know he's not coming out of retirement, but he and Waller would be an issue. Yes, they would. If Gronk still got anything left, that would be an absolute menace on the field. Because you're not playing one-on-one with Gronk. Definitely not in his prime. And you're not playing one-on-one with Waller.
Thank you for stopping.
What's going on? What's going on, King Jers? Melinda Martinez, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. Appreciate you coming through.
But now I'm finally back.
What's going on, Joe?
Hey, got my farty fever for after the show? I'm good.
But hey, Drew, what do you? I asked Coach this. Lou had to. I don't know if he had to go tan the little man, but I think you missed this question too. What do you expect the Giants to do with Jalen Hyatt this year? He is a rookie. I know we have high expectations for him, but he is a rookie. I know he has speed, but I showed in one of my videos that his route running needs a lot of work. And I'm not saying that it's terrible.
He'll do what he does best right now.
Take the defense, take the top off the defense, and go for the deep ball. Period. That's what you're going to see him doing.
That's it. That's what he's going to do best.
He'll be a receiver you see on third downs.
Until he learns the playbook and everything else and learns the scheme. And what...
Hey, boy, it's going to be nasty.
Yep.
And you guys are talking how we've got no offensive linemen. I'll tell you what. Here's one thing. All these guys are not coached by the same guy they were 2 years ago. They were last year. Okay? The guys that are playing now played last year. They know the coaches. The coaches showed them what they want done. Work on this. Or out the door. Now we sit here, we criticize, we analyze, but maybe he's going through a process. You don't know. These are how many our best team, best offensive line had 2 undrafted free agents on it. I think it was 2.
Yeah, Cyber and O'Hara. Rich Cyber and O'Hara.
Yep.
I think Cyber was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, both of them were.
So, to come over that obstacle, these guys are stepping up because I don't care what you say. I watched him for like the next 10 plays. He was fucking trying his ass off. But he was also trying to do right with technique.
But no, Joe, what we're saying is we like the front 5. We like the starting 5. We're saying the guys we got in the backup position are no bueno.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're not very good. Now, maybe they can improve. Maybe they need to learn the system. Maybe they need to gel with the guy standing next to them. But as of what we've seen right now, if we was to get one injured offensive lineman, we'd be in a world of hurt. So we need them backup guys to step up. That's what we're saying.
You're going to have to take the injury with the game.
Because the next man up mentality is real. And in order for that to be successful, the next man up has to be worth a damn at all. I mean, at some level. You can't just be whipping on the block, letting guys blow past you and hitting the quarterback. You can't do it.
And Joe, I know you're keeping your options open. You're not trying to bash, and we're not trying to bash them either. But let's not act like they were going against first.
A lot faster.
Hold on.
I know.
I'm talking about the backups. Let's not act like they were playing against first stringers. They were playing against guys, third stringers like themselves, and they made the Lions dudes look like first stringers.
Yeah.
That's the part that we're talking about. I know you can struggle here and there. I could see if you was going against the first string defense, but you were going against third stringers and fourth stringers too. And you were getting absolutely mollywopped on the field.
All I got to say is let's see. We're not done with the practices yet before we're down to the final 53. But I'm trying to get you guys to take your time. You're going to get all excited. You're hyped. I am too. But remember, this is a brand new team playing together for the first time in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. September 9th? Yeah.
But they were also playing a brand new team that just played together for the first time as well. You got to include that as part of that equation. You know, I think the tackle position is the one that really scares me, especially when I see Matt Pert having trouble blocking a corner on one play.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
When you're the largest man in the field and you can't stop the smallest man in the field, there's an issue. And that's the guy right now, if the season started, is probably our swing tackle.
All right.
God almighty, don't say that, please. Shit.
It's the truth, though. Who else? Beverly Hamilton got cut.
Bring back Roy and Batika. I'd rather have him than Matt Pert at tackle, swing tackle.
I think he was already signed by someone else.
Yeah, I think he was too. I have to look that up. And who's the other guy we got? Tremaine Phillips, Phillips. I think he's a better
Tyree
player
Phillips,
than those guys.
Got,
Tyree Phillips.
We just got Julian Davenport this week as well, who's used to start. I got the stats in front of me, so we're just talking about him in our episode. He has 60 games. He's played in his career, 32 starts. Played with the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Colts. Last year was in the practice squad for the Bears and the Cardinals. So he's got some experience, but when you're on the practice squad for the Bears and the Cardinals,
you can't make it on the field at the Bears and the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Jesus.
Oh, Alex, the Big Blue in the Bronx. Alex says Ray Batika is on the Bears. So
I was trying to look it up. I was having trouble spelling his last name. I'm like,
so Lou, he's on the Bears, so he's not coming.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Dang Nigerian guy.
Well, if they put him on the practice squad, you can still scoop him. So
he was supposed to be an international pathway player.
But it's also, he couldn't make the roster last year with all the issues we had. So we're really going to think that he's going to be the guy who's going to be our swing tackle this year.
He's better than Pert. He'd have blocked that.
I don't know about that.
He would have blocked that little guy.
I probably would have blocked the little guy, but good Lord. I don't know, man. I think we need to get a veteran.
Yeah. I think the swing tackle is just not on the roster right now.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's going to come in.
I think we're going to look at who gets cut.
He said our pockets are empty.
Pockets are never empty. There's always money.
Right.
We have a little over $5 million in what you call it, cap space.
I think he wants to keep that
$3 million.
Yeah, I know. He wants to keep
that's the Gronk money.
But
that's
what
the
I'm
Gronk
saying
money.
is,
Just
there is money to work if you needed to. And don't forget, you still have, even though people don't want to talk about it, you still have Adoree.
And Leo.
Yeah, I can't see Leo. I get it, but I can't see them redoing Leo. I just can't, because if anything, you want to wait until next year to see if you can re-sign him for a cheaper rate, because you're just kicking the can.
We better be getting rid of Leo.
Yeah, I like Leo a lot, but I think this is last year. I really do.
If you can get him at a much cheaper rate, he's still better than
right. $36 million we're paying him this year.
Yeah,
and that's only because his contract was bloated because of the deal he signed with Dave Gettleman. I think if he hits the market, next year, he probably command between $14 and $18 million a year.
Exactly.
Look what he did last time he had a contract here: 10.5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
If he does that, he's gonna get $20 million again.
Well, he'll be worth
it. Do you think you can afford two?
He'll only do that for one season. Then he'll have an injury-riddled season after that. Then he'll have a subpar season after that.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
I think he's an above average
good for
guy,
a contract year, and then he'll be subpar, injury-riddled, subpar.
If you look at the stats, he wasn't subpar. He was still very effective. He just got hurt last year. You don't base Leonard Williams off sacks.
Yeah, he doesn't get the sacks usually. That's the one year with anomaly.
Oh, yeah, I know he creates pressure up the middle. I know that.
That's what I look at. I look at pressures. I look at quarterback hits. I look at impact in the run game more than anything. Now, last year, all right, he was hurt towards the second half of the season. First half, he wasn't, and he was very effective. Mm-hmm. And the year before that, he was effective. So, I mean, this narrative that, he's on the downsides. No, he's downslide. No, he's not. Stop looking at defensive tackles the same way you look at defensive ends.
Look,
Defensive tackles are totally different.
Coach,
Yes.
don't get offended because I'm talking about a big guy with long
No.
hair. It's not you.
I don't care. I don't care. He's not as sexy as me. He's not fat and sexy like me. Come on, man. Come on.
Fonzie, what's going on? Heavyweight champ, what's going on? Fonzie says once Perk play better in the next game, Giants fans will have amnesia for a week. That's true.
No.
Heavyweight
I'm
champ
gonna
of
see
the world.
Perk put some consistent work on film for
Right.
a while before I have amnesia.
Yeah.
I've been wanting his ass gone.
He couldn't beat out
Champ.
Nate Solder.
Right. Let me
Enough
get to
said
this
there.
comment. Good Lord. Good Lord. Champ says, woo! 13-4. Woo! You ain't
Tell
lying.
him, Joe.
Yep. 13-4, 4-2 in the division.
Bill, what's going on?
59.
He said, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He says Leo's only 29. Exactly. Y'all act like Leo 35 years old or something. That dude, he's just now getting to 30. That's when defensive linemen getting that grind.
He'll be paying at
Nobody-
35
but
probably
nobody's
still. the way he
talking
plays.
about his age. I'm talking about if you look at he has a good year, and then he'll have an injury riddled year and a so-so.
He's only
He
been
had one
injured one
injury
time.
Last year,
time.
that was it. Only last year, injures.
And he played through most of the injury until it was too unbearable. It was his knee then. Remember when he hurt his elbow, he played the rest of that season with the elbow.
So the only season
He's
he
only
didn't
been hurt one time.
the only season he didn't play a complete season besides last year was the year he got traded to us.
Yeah.
He has missed one game that year. That's it. So you're
Other
talking
than
9
that, he's
years.
been
The man has
durable.
missed 6 games in 9
And
years. That's pretty
Leo
good.
does one thing. He can go out on the edge on occasion, and he can do a little bit of disruption outside. So he's versatile. He's not strictly an interior defensive lineman. So that's why, for me, he's an important piece. Now, I'm not saying pay him $32 million. That's the thing I'm talking about. No. So, but if you're talking about $15, $18 million, yes, he's worth that. And look at the defensive tackle, not defensive end. Look at the market price. See, that's the one thing Shane talks about. He talks about the market price. And that's what I'm going to look at. I mean, Dexter is over that, okay. And he's what, 23, 24, if I'm not mistaken? So
Yeah, Dexter's 25,
Yeah.
I believe.
yeah, okay, 25. So if you can get Leo 15 to 18, that's a good pairing right there. And then yes, Ashawn and Nacho are going to be trying to push the envelope, but they're going to be comfortable in the backup role and getting a decent backup money, which is not
E-Man
going to
Perry.
be.
If they do leave, that's where the guys like DJ Davidson and the guy we drafted this past year who's showing promise.
E-Man Perry says if Jordan Riley becomes the truth, I could see them moving on from Leo. And that's all I'm saying. If one of these young guys step up, they can get rid of him without having to pay that big contract.
Jordan Riley,
I think they're going to move on.
Jordan Riley is a 0 tech, so he's behind Dexter. Leo is the 3 techs. He's a 3 tech, so that's where it is. If you want to go that route, then you got to look at DJ Davison. DJ played a little bit of the 3 tech last year before he got hurt. Jordan
he's not. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you gonna say, Pat?
He's not what Leo is. DJ
Exactly.
Davison, I believe DJ Davison can play the nose role better than what he did at the 3 tech. We move on from Leonard Williams. We're gonna have to get a whole new 3 tech.
Well, here's the problem you're into, though.
It'll
Keep
be
in
the same
mind.
thing as when we got rid of Dalvin Tomlinson, is what you're saying.
Basically.
We get rid of defensive tackles all the time. I mean, but part of the problem we run into, though, is we only have so much money. Everybody talk about how much money we have next year. We don't have a Dory Jackson re-signed. We don't have Leonard Williams re-signed. We don't have Saquon Barkley re-signed. That's a lot of money right there, those 3 players.
But we still have
and we still got to
good
work
money
out
for next year. We still got good money for next year, though.
We don't have that much money.
We could keep him. we still gonna have like 40 to 50 million next year, even without those guys.
I just took that 40-50 right there with those players alone.
What is the?
It depends on how
we
you
don't.
structure the contracts.
We also don't know what the salary cap is because the salary
No.
cap is going to
Right.
increase.
Yeah.
So, and doesn't the TV money hit next year?
I think it does, which is what everybody's
Yeah.
banking on, really. But
Yeah,
the
no,
problem you're
I
going to run
know.
into is everybody's going to have that TV money.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, that's going to impact the salary cap. So how big or little it is, can also help, based on what you're saying. But yes, Joe Shane has shown that he's smart. He works those contracts. So I don't know. It's just something about that I don't worry about him re-signing certain players. And we've already seen what he went through with Saquon. And Saquon is, basically outside of DJ, probably the most valuable player in terms of Giants fandom. And he played hardball with him. So, and it's not just the New York Giants. Look at the whole market. So it's going to be, I'm wondering, is the money going to even get smaller for running backs next year? I mean, look at Jonathan Taylor right now, what he's going through with Indianapolis. And I'm sitting here, look at Dalvin Cook. Yes, he signed for $8 million, but that's the point. He wanted 11 and he got 8.
Mm-hmm.
So is the market going to decrease next year?
I mean, there's a chance it does. There's a chance it does, but let's talk about next year. As far as re-signing our own, that's what he wants to do. He wants to re-sign our own. What if this team does make it to the NFC Championship game? That says that we should re-sign our own. We got the team. Let's bring in some draft picks. Let's keep hitting on these draft picks. Let's draft a 3 technique in the first round or draft a guard in the first round. Let's draft, man, and bring back our own. That's how good teams do. You might lose a person here or there. Now, if Leo does move on, I believe he's the prime candidate to move on. If they don't want, if somebody is not coming back, is Leo. Let's just be honest with you. I'm keeping Barkley ahead of him. I'm keeping McKinney ahead of him as well. Dory Jackson.
All I was saying. I wasn't saying I don't like Leo. I was saying that he's more likely to move on from him.
Mm-hmm.
And Dory Jackson. What if Cordell Flott? What if Cordell Flott steps up this year and he shows that he can play the slot? He might be going to Trey Hawkins balls out this year.
I think it's kind of interesting that they never talked with Dory Jackson about an extension that I heard anything about, at least.
No, they did. They said Dory Jackson and his camp said they were in contact.
Did they? Okay,
about
I hadn't heard of that.
A contract. Now, the one that they're not in contact with is Xavier McKinney. They said they're not going to talk to him until after the year for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's just a lot.
We can talk about that. Yeah, we could talk about that too. Was the hand injury, did that rub the organization the wrong way? And that's why they're not talking to him after the end of the season.
Well, they want to see between the competition between Dane Belton, McCain, him, and what's the other safety?
Belton, McCain,
Pinnock, yeah.
I mean, part of it though is we talk about how little running backs are getting paid. Safety is one of those positions too that you don't typically want to overpay either. So it also depends on what he wants. And as far as the ATV incident, listen, there's only one way an ATV flips. It's because you did something stupid. You did something stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a motorcycle. It's got 4 wheels. It's not meant to flip. Yeah. You popped a wheelie. You went into a ditch somewhere. You did something you shouldn't have done.
Weren't they trying to go up a hill or something, and that's why it tipped over?
Yeah, they said that's why it tipped over. He wasn't even driving.
He one hell of a hill.
True. Hamabama. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He says, bring the comment up. He says, I really think we could compete this year. Everybody just want to hate on DJ, but my boy is solid. Overall team is different from last year. True.
Yep. Remember I said it. Saquon Barkley is going to be used in the receiving capacity a lot more this year. Don't be surprised if he has like 800 receiving yards.
Well, elaborate on that, Luke.
Well, I think
elaborate on that. How you think they use him?
I think they're gonna use him more like Alvin Kamara capacity, which is what I've been saying they should have done with him for the past 2-3 seasons now. To minimize all the running through them heavy linemen, because we all know that the lifespan of a running back is short in the NFL because of the wear and tear on the knees. You get him out in the slot, little screen passes, little slants coming out the backfield, and you utilize him like that. Once he's in space with the ball, he's shifty as hell. We all know it. He's elusive. He's fast. He can get low to the ground. He can drop his shoulder and bow through people. He can hurdle you. He can jump right over you, spin, juke, whatever. So it's just once you get him the ball in space, he is a problem to bring down. And if they utilize him more in that capacity, that relieves a lot of pressure off of DJ. And then it makes the defenses focus more on him, and it opens up more stuff for Waller and the rest of the receiving crew.
So you saying that we got all these weapons just to make Saquon Barkley more effective in the passing game? That's what
I didn't
saying.
say that. I said I never said that. I said don't be surprised if Saquon Barkley is used more in the passing receiving capacity. I didn't say we got all them weapons just to use Barkley in the capacity. I'm saying if everybody's looking at the receivers thinking, oh, they got all them weapons, they gonna air it out, and you start screen passing and dumping it off, it's gonna catch everybody off guard. Then it's gonna bring the defense up, and then you start catching them over the top with the deep shit. That's all I'm saying.
And that's exactly what's gonna happen.
See, I think the difference though is Kamara has a lot better hands. Kamara's got a lot better hands than Barkley does. You know, if you look at it when he was doing his most effective years, and I got the stats in front of me, his catch rate was anywhere from 83 to 77%. Saquon Barkley's never hit 76% in his catch rate. The hands, there's a difference in there. I've seen a couple of times in games where Saquon Barkley's wide open, ready to go, and just doesn't catch the ball. I'm not saying it's horrible hands, but I don't think it's quite to that level.
No, it's not.
That's
Alvin
fair.
Kamara is the best receiving running back when it comes to just hands. He is. And then I got Christian McCaffrey after him. And then the crazy thing about that is Barkley will drop an easy pass, but then turn around and catch the ball with one finger. It's ridiculous. Like some of the one-hand catches I've seen that dude make is ridiculous. Like, why the hell did he drop the easy?
Because he's trying to run with it before he has it in his hands.
It's called lack of focus.
You're
trying to think about how am I going to juke. No, what it is,
your hand.
Yes. And what he's doing is he sees the ball coming, and he's already in his mind. He's already caught it. So now he's looking to say, all right, let me see what I'm going to do on this dude right here, as opposed to let me secure that ball first, then get my head around.
He already done juke 3 dudes out in his head before he caught the ball.
That's always about focus. That's really all it boils down to. Because he has the ability. We all know that. It's focus. I've had backs like that too.
I did look it up. CMC, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was like CMC and Austin Eckler, because I want to look up his stats to see.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Austin Eckler.
The catch rate. Both of them are about 81% of the catch rate.
Eckler.
So, like I said, Saquon's 73. So you're talking almost 10 point drop there almost. It's a pretty significant difference.
Yeah, I forgot about Austin Eckler, Drew. Fonzie said that is just more fuel for the media to shit on Daniel Jones as Saquon gets 800 yards receiving. That is very true.
Well, if he's the one throwing him the ball, he can't shit on him now, can they?
It don't. Yes, they can. They already do.
They'll always find a way to shit on DJ.
Check down Charlie. It's called check down Charlie. He just wants to check it down. He doesn't want to go deep down the field. That's the excuse.
That's what they said about Eli in Barkley's rookie year. I remember that. They were saying about Eli like crazy. He couldn't throw the ball down the field anymore. There was just catch.
Well, he couldn't because he didn't have no time to go through his progression. The minute he said,
I don't disagree.
On him.
I don't disagree. I'm saying that's what they said. He was
so worried about getting sacked, he would just spike the damn ball at the lineman's feet because they was already on him.
Here's
get his ass whooped.
Here's another thing, though, on Barkley we have to consider. We talk about him as far as more of getting receiving yards because you want to save the wear and tear. Do the Giants really give a damn about the wear and tear? I don't think they do. I don't think
Saquon Barkley?
No, I don't think he's in the long-term plans. I really don't.
Elaborate on that, Drew.
I think when you talk about what things he said in this offseason, the biggest complaints he had was guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that was because the Giants wanted to protect themselves against an injury. But I think part of it is the Giants are smart enough to also realize, regardless of injury, you have a shelf life. When you're a running back, you have a shelf life. He has a couple more years, and that's it, before he's probably going to be relegated to be a guy who's part of a stable of running backs and not necessarily a lead back like he is right now. So if you got that mentality, do you care how quickly you burn him out? Because you're not going to sign him long term.
Okay, that may be true, but let me challenge you on that whole equation, saying the Giants didn't give a damn about Barkley's wear and tear last year. I know you were looking up stats. I want you to look up the amount of carries Saquon Barkley had per game after the Texans. If you can look that up for me.
Well, he also had the shoulder injury then too, so that's part of that. So I will say that, but if you look at the carries here, let's see here. So Texans, he had 35 carries, which was by far his most, then 15, 11, 18, 9, 18, 14, 12.
So what is that average of about 13 carries a game after that Texans game? About 13, 14 carries a game. Yeah. What was the numbers again, Drew?
Let's see.
After the Texans game,
I'm going to see here because I'm on Pro Sport Reference. It should give me the answer, hopefully, at that point there. Let's see here. That's about 14 attempts per game.
Yeah, does that tell you now? Given the shoulder, let's just say if his shoulder wasn't healthy, how many more carries per game? Of that 14 that you think that it would have gave him if his shoulder wasn't hurt?
Well, let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go leading up to the Texans. What was he averaging? He was averaging 20.
Yeah.
He was averaging 20.
This, though. But I could play devil's advocate on that argument as well, because with their record at that time, nobody expected us to jump out to the start that we had. And They might have been looking at it like, okay, let's preserve him, because if we actually get into the playoffs, we can make a run at this if he's healthy. Let's cut back some of his carries for the better of the team, not because we give a damn about Saquon.
I think personally it was a combination of the fact that he had the shoulder injury.
No, I was going to play devil's advocate with that argument. That's all. I wasn't saying that that's what I think. I'm just saying.
Oh, I hear you. I'm just saying I think it was that, though. Plus, I also think it was the emergence of having Isaiah Hodgins, and finally there was somebody actually for DJ to throw the ball to besides Slayton.
So that's what I'm getting to. You draft Hyatt, you bring back Slayton, Hodgins in his second year, you bring in Paris Campbell, you bring in Darren Waller. How many carries per game do you think Saquon Barkley averages this year with all those weapons being added to the system?
To 13.
Joe, you said 13?
I said
Yeah,
15.
at least 13. Because I'm going to say even maybe more. If we're ahead by the second half by 2 touchdowns, they're going to ground and pound it. You know, you can tire out that defense. That's winning football. Second half, you got by 2 touchdowns, ground and pound, baby. Is it not?
Hold on 1 second, Joe. Iman Perry. He says they cut down his carries because he was getting stopped. His burst is gone. That is an absolute false statement. I love you, Iman. Thank you for always coming to the show. That man burst is still there. Pause.
I'll
like,
say
I don't
this,
know
though.
what.
He's not 100% wrong, because even Barkley said himself he needed to work in his speed because his burst isn't what it used to be. It's not gone.
It's not what it used to be. But it's still top tier.
Anybody have knee surgery, they burst ain't gonna be what they used to be. But to say it's gone,
yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. It's not gone, but
he
it's
said
not what
gone
it was.
in all caps with an exclamation point.
What you mean? Look at the Titans game. The Titans game was one of his best burst games. Besides, you talking about when he got the ball knocked out, he tripped. He tripped on that play. If he doesn't trip, he's probably still running right now. Well, look at the Vikings games. That dude can still run, bro. Like seriously, is it like what it used to be? No, because he's had a major knee injury, major ankle injuries. Who knows? He might be even healthier this year, and you might see the old Barkley. Who knows? But to say that it's gone, no, that dude's still one of the shiftiest, burstiest running backs in the league. Pause. But go ahead.
He's not a 4-3. He's probably a 4-4-7 type of a 40 type of a running back. That's what it boils down to.
Is it safe to say his elite burst, at least last year, was gone last year, though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not his burst, but his
I can say
burst.
that. The elite burst maybe is gone. I don't know.
Maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. I'm just like I said. That's why I'm saying he's not 100% wrong, because the elite burst
Watch
wasn't
him shut
quite
everybody
there.
up this year. Watch that shit. Him and
I love
That's
it.
true.
Him
I
and
love
DJ.
it.
Him and DJ gonna go on a comeback tour on a shut the hell up. They're gonna serve people glasses of shut the hell up all year long on them hot days at halftime when everybody like, oh man, DJ, shut the hell up. Here's a tall glass of shut the hell up. There you go. Yeah.
D-Dan Shelton said his burst was displayed on Jay that first Dallas game last year. The line wasn't holding him down. I mean, that touchdown run that he got when we took the lead in the first Cowboys game, that was an elite burst there. I mean, he still got it. It's like OBJ after that Panthers game. He still was good, but he wasn't as good as what he was his rookie year. That burst is gone. Maybe. The jury isn't out on Barkley yet. Go ahead, Joe.
I got, I'm going to put this out there. Saquon does not like to run the ball. Doesn't want to run between the tackles. Run between them. He likes to run outside of them. Because every time we get, he goes inside, he bounces it outside. Why?
Because they get injured most times in between the tackles.
Well, there you go. Well, this way he got injured. He was outside of the tackles, but it was a run play between the tackles that got him out there.
This is why 3rd and 4th down, Daniel Jones was our 3rd down, 4th down back.
Yeah, I know that. But first down, Pat pick the handoff, pass it back to Barkley. Maybe that worked. Barkley, he goes out for a pass, runs his route. Someone else gets the ball as they're coming his way. He's got 2 defenders on him trying to tackle him. Oh, what a beautiful block by Barkley. Come on.
That's why I believe Lou is right. They will use him more in a passing game this year, because I'm not saying that he doesn't want to run in between the tackles or he can't run in between the tackles, but I believe he prefers not to, because he's so talented. He's so talented and he's so elusive that if he gets outside, there's a problem. That's the difference between him and a running back like we used to have in Joe Morris. Yeah, Joe Morris, he was a smaller back and he had bursts, but that dude, he ran between the tackles like a monster. Yeah, and maybe that's why he got hurt towards the end of his career, because he used to take some wicked hits.
Part of what makes Barkley a special player is what makes all the special players special. He's the guy that if you get him the ball in space, he can create something out of nothing. That's what we loved about Odell Beckham. That's what we loved about Victor Cruz. That's what we loved about Barry Sanders. That's what we loved about all the great players you can name throughout NFL history. They had that it factor of get him the ball no matter what, and he's going to make something happen. And that's when you have a player like that. Unfortunately, Ben McAdoo did it too fucking much, and everybody knew the ball was going to Beckham every damn time, right? But I mean, when you have a player like that, you want to try to get him the ball in space. And when you have a new offensive line that's trying to gel, that you're trying to fit together, right? With a guy in his second year and a rookie at center, you're not going to rely on them guys run blocking as much as you are going to rely on them dumping it off quickly, screen passes, max protection, to get the ball out of your hand fast. And when you're running that style of offense, it might be check down Charlie for the first 5-6 weeks.
Who knows? I don't believe we get in a situation where it's check down Charlie, but go ahead, Coach.
All right, I'm looking at PFF grading system and their breakdown. And they did the snap breakdowns. In his running snaps, he was lined up, the running snaps were 404, but the receiving snaps, passing snaps were 549. Now, in terms of position, he lined up at quarterback 15 times, in the backfield 843 times, in line 23 times, slot 42 times, wide receiver 30 times. I didn't know he was on the kickoff or kick return twice because they have it too there. But now his overall offensive grade for PFF is 80.3. The run grade is 84.9. The passing grade is 58.4. And I think that stems from his drops.
The two special team snaps, by the way, were against Houston, so I'm thinking it was a hands team for an onside kick or something.
You know what? You're right. That is considered return. I forgot about that. Thanks, Drew.
So we're gonna take a little time out right here. We're gonna hear about what one of his teammates has to say about Saquon Barkley, and that's Mr. Xavier McKinney. So let's hear what Mr. Xavier McKinney has to say about Saquon Barkley. If we can pull it up. Here we go.
Hey, that guy's 101. It don't get no better than him. So wherever he's at on the field, whether it's lined up in the backfield, lined up in the slot, lined up outside, it's going you got to match up. So you got to be alert. He's a guy that's going to give people a lot of problems no matter where he's at. So, but that's what happens when you got a guy that good, a guy that talented. So, that's another, just another piece that we have.
So Xavier McKinney has some of the same sentiments that Lou was talking about, and Coach really just said that how many different positions they lined Barkley up in last year. And a lot of people say that. It's not just his Giants teammates say that. A lot of people around the league say that. They say that Barkley is a one-of-one type talent. That when you get the ball in his hands, something magical can happen at any moment in time. And what I'm trying to get to is do you let that go if you're the New York Giants organization? Let's say Barkley next year comes and say, give me between $16 and $18 million per year next year, or I'll walk. Do you let him walk?
Would you agree that Zeke was a special talent?
I don't think he's going to get that. Nobody said we was going to get that. The market's going down, but Saquon, because he's Saquon, I'll bet he gets that 3-year deal. 2 of them, the first 2 guaranteed, because for him it'd be like this year would be the 3-year deal. But he'll give about 13.
So what's your limit on Saquon Barkley per year average?
13 and a half. I mean, just Saquon. We got to give the man his respect. You got to pay him.
But I'm going to let Andrew answer it, but he says, give me $16 million a year at least. Then we can start talking, or I'll walk.
Yeah.
Where was this at?
That's 48 for 3
No, I'm
years.
saying if he did that next year. If he did that next year, let's say we make
I'd
it to
let
the
him
NFC
walk because
Championship
he's
game.
very-
I tell him, tag, you're it.
He can be tagged again.
Enjoy tag number 2. Unless you want to keep McKinney that bad and you want to throw it on him or something like that. But I mean,
I don't think he would say 16. I think he would take 14.
well, here's the thing though.
That's not the scenario. If he comes to the New York Giants next year, the scenario is he has a dominant year again, better than what he did last year. If he comes into that office,
better than last year?
Yeah. He tears it up again this year, pause. And he comes into that office and say, if you're not offering me at least $16 million, we not even gonna talk.
I would say,
would you let him walk?
I would try to figure out some stipulations on that. Now, if it's 16 years for a 3-year contract that I can bail out on 2 and the guaranteed money is no more than 25 mil, then we can work with that. But if he think
there's no way he's only going to accept
straight, hell no.
There's no way he accepts less. I mean, $25 million guaranteed if you want $16 million per year on the average. The guarantees, if you take $16 million per year, is probably going to be in the 30s.
Then he better listen to Victor Cruz and go to the Bears.
No, he's going to be like Drew said. They'll probably tag him.
They'll tag him again.
Because if you tag him, you're going to get him for 12. You're going to get him for 12.
And if you tag him, it's going to get very, very, very ugly in the media for the Giants.
Yep.
No, I'm not going to.
I'll tell you that now.
It does.
It's going to get.
What do you mean?
I think.
Hold on. This is Saquon Barkley. They already made it ugly. They already made it ugly this season. They said he's 100% of the offense. If he goes out there, let's say he puts up 1,500 yards rushing, 800 yards receiving. He has an MVP caliber year.
Pay him $16 million a year. Pay him.
And he goes to their office and say, "Give me $16 million just to talk."
If he does that,
and they don't pay him. Hold on, and they don't pay him. You mean to tell me it's not going to get ugly?
Yes.
Here's one thing you have to look at with Saquon's. Well, here's what they look at the Saquon Barkley scenario. Saquon Barkley, and I'm not knocking the guy for it when I say it this way. There's a lot of people that have the same mentality, and there's a certain smartness from a marketing standpoint of having this mentality. Saquon Barkley, more than his contract even, cares about his image and how he's perceived by fans. He does care about that. And you can tell that just by the way he acts, by the way he dresses, by the way he has his hair perfect every single time he's on camera. The guy cares about his image overall. And what that tells you is, look what happened this year. He took the little bit of extra money because fans were starting to bash out at him.
Yeah.
He didn't want that perception out there. He got a lot of backlash when we talked about sitting out the season and stuff like that from fans. So he's I'm telling you right now, and obviously I could be wrong. I don't know the man personally, but I in my business and what I do on a regular 9 to 5, a lot of what I do is reading people. And every single time I look at that man and the micro expressions he has and everything, he cares about how he's perceived.
He's very
by
PC.
The public and by the fans.
Yeah, that is very true.
Think about this. There's certain players that do not want to have anything that people would not like out there. You could say that about a guy like Michael Jordan, like Tiger Woods before the affairs.
His dad was a famous boxer, so he was raised in a certain atmosphere with etiquette and rules and structure and not embarrassing the family name and this and that. So he was already groomed in a certain manner to be very PC and public relations and all that. So that's a part of his DNA.
Let me tell y'all the part that y'all not looking at. When he did that this year, the only reason why
it makes the Giants look bad.
Yeah, the only reason why Barkley took that little deal is because in his mind, you're right, he doesn't want to be perceived as a greedy or whatever. He has an image that he wants to uphold. But if he goes out there and has another stellar season, remember his quarterback is Daniel Jones. They don't give a damn about Daniel Jones. They want to find reasons to bash Daniel Jones. That argument about him being 100% the offense just gets stronger if he has another stellar year like that. Let's just say Daniel Jones throws for 4,000 yards, has 400 yards rushing, and has 34 touchdowns. But Barkley rushes for 13 or 1,400 yards, has 12 touchdowns rushing, and out of those 32 touchdowns that he throws, he catches about 5 or 6 of them. They're going to say that Barkley was the whole offense. What's going on, Timothy? And he is going to have the right to go and ask for that money, and nobody in the media is going to press him about asking for that money. You know what they're going to say?
If they don't do it after he does everything you just said, if they let him go or they act like they're not going to re-sign him, that's when Mara will step in and sign his ass. Because Mara don't like hearing all that backlash from the fans. When they benched Eli, McAdoo was out of there. How many times Mara stepped in and was like, no, we not. No, we not. He don't like that controversy shit, that distraction, all that media shit. He'll step in and nip that shit in the bud. So if Barkley was to do 1,500 receiving and 800 receiving and 1,500 rushing, 2,300 yards, and be a reason why we make it to the postseason or whatever, and Shane act like he's still not gonna sign him, Mara will step in and sign his ass. I promise you.
I don't think there'll be the backlash though. Let's look again. I know we talked about this ad nauseum in the past, so I'm gonna go real quick. Obviously, you got Gurley, you got Zeke, you got Dalvin Cook. Now you can say all these different contracts that were given out. They're not smart to do. History has shown you
very true. History,
Giant fans
is true.
Know this. I'm telling you, and they don't want him signed long term because they know the risk of what happens. You know, like we talked about a minute ago, about how special player he was. The point I was about to make before was when he said Zeke. Zeke was a special player. Now, was he as good a receiver as Barkley was or is? No, of course not. But he was a special player, and they lost a lot of players because of his contract.
Hold on, fellas. If this is true, Chris D, that changes the whole game.
That can't be
he
true.
Says Merritt signed a. Go ahead.
He called Daniel Jones. Mara's the one who got the deal done with Daniel Jones. That's been said point blank.
By who?
Many sources I saw on that. That Merrick was the one who called up Daniel Jones and got him last minute back to the table to get that deal done.
So you're saying that Joe Shane and Dable were ready to franchise him, and you said Merrick called Daniel Jones and his camp up and says, "What do you want?" And we'll give you what you want. That's what you're saying.
Let me see if I can find it real quick to verify the story. But the way I remember it was Mara's the one who got him back on the line last minute and got the phone call and got it done. But again, as far as clauses like that, that just means that Mara can't step in and say you have to do this. Doesn't mean he can't still meddle and get involved like he tends to do in some of these cases.
Yeah, he's the owner. I mean, in the end, it's his money.
That's true too. So you're saying that Mara was the one that picked up the phone and said, "Hey DJ, we got something else for you."
I'm looking it up right now to verify real quick here for the story exactly for you guys.
He says Zeke led the league in rushing twice. He earned that contract. And back then, running backs' money wasn't dried up like it is right now. Mm-hmm. It's not like Zeke was in a running back market like this. The running back market was fluid because what's the boy for the Gurley had signed his contract. Mm-hmm. CMC had got his contract. I think Henry signed his contract at that time as well. So the market was fluid with running backs at that time, Iman.
E-Man Perry, why you look like Earl Spence trying to cover up them eye jammies Terrence gave him in that picture?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Alex, what's going on, Alex?
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, that is very true. Zeke did earn his contract, but Zeke is one of the main reasons why Barkley can't get his contract right now.
That's why you never trust a man with a bull ring in his nostrils. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, what's going on, Alex? Dash, what's going on, Dash?
Okay, so
What you
I'm looking
got
it
for
up
us,
here.
Alex?
Apparently, Colin Coward was the one who said that. Colin Coward's the one who said that John Mara made the call.
I
You
don't
can't
trust
trust
Colin
nothing that
Coward.
Coward says. I mean,
Right.
Cowherd says.
But I mean, it can be true because he
Okay.
was the one that came out and said that we've done DJ the worst service ever. We've done everything to
Mhm.
screw him up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come to the table like, look, we got to get this done.
Now, I did also see multiple people report that at 2:00 right at that deadline as well, that Daniel Jones called Mara to tell him he's happy to be a Giant and be the quarterback, whether it's on the tag or a long-term deal, to make sure he knew where he was. So there was a couple of conversations that day with Mara and Jones.
And I believe there's been a couple of conversations between Mara and Barkley. And while Barkley came in,
he signs the checks.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
I mean, Alex, what you got for us, big dog? Good to see you.
I mean, not much. I just came to join the conversation, see what you guys were talking about, offer my thoughts on anything that you guys bring up. But I mean, I was just watching it again. I know that the fan base is now splitting on it, and I know I asked this earlier, but I had to step out due to a couple of videos I had to get done and record. What do you guys think of the O-line rotations?
The
The
O-line
offensive line.
rotation. I'm not a huge fan of rotating people constantly like the way they are, but it must be necessary. It must be that Azudu is showing something that they like over Glowinski, but they like Glowinski over Azudu because he's the veteran.
Experience.
Ben Bredesen, he could play center or both guard positions, so he's just being used like a Swiss Army knife right now. I believe Bredesen's the starter, whether it's going to be left guard or right guard. But it's something about Azudu that they like over Glowinski, but they can't just put him in there just yet because he may not be ready, especially coming off the injury-riddled rookie season. He's still basically a rookie, if you ask me, and he's still learning. But I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion about it. Anybody else want to go?
All right. I honestly believe that they're trying to give these young guys as much reps as they can to see who they're going to end up keeping, because they know that we can't keep all the guys we got in there, as we all know that. But they want to keep the best out of the sorry sons of that we got in there now as backups, right? So you're going to see Corey Cunningham and Wyatt Davis, because I don't think both of them make it. You're going to see the rotation continue throughout preseason like that until we whittle it down to who's going to stay as the backup, because I mean, it's a shit show right now. After game one, I'm just like, holy shit, we're in trouble. So I need to see something against Carolina this week.
Yeah, that is
In terms of rotation, for me, if you're just talking about preseason, it's just preseason. That's how I take it. That's how they're trying to see guys, see what they have, work guys, mix and match, different guys to see what they can develop. Now, if you were talking about regular season, it'd be a different story. I don't want to see rotations anymore. Go with a set five. If somebody needs a break, that's a different story. Emergency break, whatever the case may be. I get that. If somebody's down for injury, I get that. But just regular going, I don't want to see a rotation anymore. It hurts continuity. It affects the running game. It impacts the passing game too much. When you have the same five guys out there, they are almost like-minded. They will almost think alike. They know what to do with everything, how to pass players off, anything, how to read a blitz, how to read an overhang, a long hang, a short hang, anything of that nature. They know the calls, they know the slide, they know the footwork. It's like big dancing bears out there. They're in the same rhythm.
Nah, King Blue, you can't do that. Look at the guys that got re-signed this year. Those are all Gettleman draft picks.
I don't think we have any more Gettleman guys other than AT.
I'm talking about the offensive line, where I want the same five in to work together to be as one on the offensive line. That's what I'm referring to.
No,
I think this.
I was saying the comment because he said, get rid of all of Dave Gettleman's picks. I'm like, what?
I mean, AT is a Gettleman pick, so we're getting rid of him.
Nope.
I mean, come on now. You can't get rid of all the Gettleman's picks.
Well, you can't. Well, King Blue says besides AT, you still got what's the guy from Oregon we drafted? You still got Lemieux. You still got Pert.
Oh, okay. You're talking about them.
I think the big thing though with this shuffle they're doing really in reality though is I think they just want to give Josh Rizzuto every single chance to possibly become the starter because Glowinski is making a ton of money. You can save $5.7 million against the cap next year if you cut him. So I think that's what it is. They want Rizzuto to win this, but I don't think he's gonna. I think his technique is just not there. If you watch the games where he does it, he's punching way too damn high. It's the same problem he had last year. And at some point, this is going to come on Bobby Johnson because he just wasn't that great in Buffalo, I thought. And now he's getting young talent, and I'm not seeing the progression there in these guys either.
I will say this about Rizzuto because I've said it. The thing about Rizzuto is one of the things that you can consistently see is he's allowing defensive linemen to get here to here. And that allows them to get control of him, where he's not able to get his hands on him. They can now get this and then attack him here and get control of him. And that's, I've seen, you're right about the technique. If I can see it as, an illegitimate offensive line coach, that's a pun intended for Twitter. Those who know what I'm talking about. But
it's supposed to be inside here.
No, it's not even that. It's your elbow. See, your hands could be here, but if your elbows are wide, you allow defensive linemen to.
If you see where my arms were, it's coming from here. You're not coming here. You're coming from here.
Yes, exactly. Your hands, even if you're punching and jabbing, it's supposed to be tight. Your elbows should be tight to your body because once you give space as a defensive lineman, I have something to grab. I have something to grab, control you, and once I get this elbow and I can twist you, I can get right by you.
It's over with.
Yep.
So
elbows in, but punch low too. You want to hit the bottom of those shoulder pads too, and knock those shoulder pads up. There was one play he had in the game there last week that I think it looked like his hand hit the guy right in the chin strap. It's like, what are you doing? Like that's something you learn in Pop Warner. To your point, Coach, if a guy who's a co-host of a Two Giant Goofball podcast can see it. I mean, seriously, I think anybody could see it at that point. There, shameless plugs.
No, but that's the thing with Rizzuto and Glowinski. Anybody knows I call him chicken legs. He has no lower base.
Super Dave.
I mean, he's on skates all the time, getting driven back into the quarterback's lap. And he every time he tries to establish a base, he just gets driven back. He has no strength there. Where I joke about it. I say,
"Hey Lou, hold me down, Lou."
I say, if you look at every other offensive lineman, they have those wide hips down low. But Glowinski is very narrow.
Pause on the wide hips, man. Pause on the wide hips.
I said pause.
Yeah.
Long
Shut up.
Shakir,
I don't know about you two.
Shut up. Look, man. They got thunder thighs. They got big hips.
Pause.
Pause.
No, wait a minute.
I'm a coach. I'm a coach, and that's what I say. That's
I
what
hear
I
the donkey
say.
dunk. I'm gone.
Hey, you always got the guys. You always got the guys during practice. You gotta say, "Hey, you got your Vaseline? What's your Vaseline?" The first year.
I ain't going that far now. I'm not going that far. No, it's like what you call. He used to say they got that.
I can guarantee you, he's got Vaseline on between his legs.
Oh, shit. Damn,
it's true.
I'm done. I can't with y'all, man. I can't. I can't.
He said you tell the first year guys that they gotta have Vaseline on. That's messed up.
No, but
fucking with him.
No, guess what though? My first year playing, I used to put Vaseline on my jersey. I really did.
Yeah.
So It's an old technique, but the point I'm making is they have a thicker lower base, which allows them to generate a little bit more power and stabilize on a bull rush, where Glowinski just doesn't seem to have it, and that's always been a concern. That's why I want Azudu and Bredesen in, because they have the bit lower base to stabilize. Now, Azudu, he has to work his upper body. He has to work his upper technique. But with the leg drive, and that's why sometimes they can get the push in the run game, because they have the power to explode into a defensive lineman and get him moved off the spot. So, but that's why I call Glowinski chicken legs, because he doesn't have the lower base.
See, I
ahead,
like
Bill.
him better in pass protection. I like Zudu better in run blocking, and that's the problem. You can't go back and forth like that.
Glowinski, if you look at, I did a breakdown. If you go to my YouTube page, if you go look, I showed you in Pass Pro exactly what I'm talking about. He was getting driven back by Leo. Leo just one-armed him and just drove him back straight into the quarterback.
If you look at the Panthers game last year, a guy who's still a free agent, Matt Ioannidis, he literally clawed Glowinski and just got by him a few times. So that's that's Glowinski's weakness. Just he has no strength up there.
King Blue says our O-line, I think, is good at left tackle, right tackle, and center. Just bring some good offensive guards. We can see this O-line be built like a wall. I agree with you 100%. I think we have our tackles and our center. If you get us two decent guards, they don't even got to be good, just decent at least. Jesus Christ. We can have a great offensive line and then get us some great guards within the draft or whatever next season. But I mean, if you can get Izudu and fucking McKeithen could
he's another one.
pan out, I think this offensive line could be great. But
I don't know how
their learning curve is very slow.
I think Bredesen could be the long-term answer though too at guard.
Who?
I think Ben Bredesen. I think it's just figure out that one other position.
The thing about it is, and this year is going to truly be a finger pointing situation at Bobby Johnson, because the guys have talent. They do. They really do have talent. And I don't like going at another coach. I don't. I'm not big on that. From everything I've heard, Bobby Johnson seems like he knows the game. He knows the techniques. But the same thing like Drew is saying, and if I'm seeing it with Azudu, why are we not adjusting it
down
and
on the
addressing
fundamentals?
That? Elbows tight. I've seen O-line coaches where they've taken straps around the offensive lineman.
Cornerback, and I know that.
Exactly. I've seen offensive line coaches strap the upper body so their arms stay in to work on their techniques. And it's old school, but it's effective. And it's like, well, if these are issues and I'm seeing it, Drew's seeing it, a lot of other fans are seeing it, why are we not correcting it? And again, like I said, it just bothers me. Hey,
OG Bobby Johnson a little more worried about being friendly with the team instead of coaching the team.
Say
be their friend.
Well, we're in a day and age, Lou. Unfortunately, some of the techniques with coaches have to be mentally to get into the guy's head to befriend them, to get them to do, because a lot of players, they're sensitive. They're sensitive to true coaching. They're sensitive, because the thing about it is a lot of these kids are from the time in youth football. It's not only that, it's youth football. You have family members in their ear all the time telling them how great they are, and they think that they know more than the coaches. So, and that's the genre that we're in. I've had when I was coaching, I've had to battle that with other parents, other players who, they think they know more. And I've always said, okay, you think you know more? Go ahead, out coach me. And it's, and when you start talking little technical things like that, that they don't see, then it's like, oh, I didn't see that. Well, I have a plan for my teaching. Now, Bobby Johnson, I don't know what his plan is. But again, to me, Your elbows is some of the basic things they should be in. Azudo's elbows shouldn't be out. If I could see that defensive linemen are attacking his elbows, and they practice, they film it. Why are we not picking it up? Why are we not adjusting it? I've talked too much. Y'all guys got it. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. Because I mean, my whole point is the same problem as last year.
Right. And if you look at the touchdown throw to Sweeney, he got beat on that play. Like that's why the throw was so quick.
And that's the thing. It's also, is he leaning a little bit too forward? Because I do wonder about that too. Is his head too far over his shoulders as opposed to keeping his head back? Maybe dropping your backside just a touch. Working on some of those things.
On DeVito's part to throw it towards the blitz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always attack the blitz. That's one is you always attack the blitz. Replace it, or in that situation, get the ball out quickly to where the blitz came from. So Do
you think he beats Tyrod Taylor out for the backup job?
No.
How
Tyrod's money is
about
guaranteed.
if he balls out for the next 2 preseason games and Tyrod stinks up like he stunk up?
Tyrod's money is guaranteed. His money is guaranteed, so he's on the spot.
This is what I'm saying. So you're loyal to Tyrod and Beasley and these guys that you brought over from Buffalo, but you play hardball with Barkley.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
I'm talking about Joe Shane and them.
No, what I'm saying is Tyrod has like $5 million guaranteed. So you're not, and then that's
you're loyal.
No, I get what you're saying.
From Buffalo, but you want to play hardball with Saquon. Dirty sons.
But Tyrod didn't play there with Shane and Dable, though. That's before that, I think, right?
I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's pretty to transition from left to right tackle, especially in 1 year, to playing a lot of left tackle in college. Evan is pretty smart, I think.
That's another test.
King Blue, you know what? I will say this. I've never played in the NFL, so I'm not going to go all in on that. But I've played minor league semi-pro, not the greatest. In one game, I played every 5 positions on the offensive line. I understand about the different stances, the different techniques, but if you're well-versed and you understand the game, you should be able to adjust. Now, again, different levels, so I get it. The pros and NFL is a lot faster, and I get it. And he played at Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, he played left guard, right tackle, left tackle. And is that right? Do you guys know
that sounds
what he
about
played?
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he understands the techniques of playing multiple positions. So, yeah, I know, Amon. You're right. That is how semi-pro is. Yes, it is. So, if anybody's ever played, that's true. Offense, defense, across the ball. So, but
Iron Man football. Sometimes play offense and defense.
Yeah, but
in high school, I had to switch from left bench to right bench. It was very difficult. I wasn't sure what side to sit on at that point. I was like, where do I go? Where's my place here?
Yeah. But I mean, in the same token, I get what you're saying about, the techniques and the technical aspects. But in the same token, I think he went from right tackle his junior year to left tackle his senior year.
Yep.
So he is used to switching from year to year. So
right. And again, like back to the Bobby Johnson little tidbit. But that's another test. Like we saw, I know Bobby Skinner pointed out, maybe other people as well, as that third step and a couple of different issues with Evan Neal. If he's not taking the next step, that's another point you got to start wondering. Is Bobby Johnson an issue with the whole Evan Neal progression?
And that's a concern. And I'm not to be funny, but if he's not picking up on it, I mean, you're going to get a certain facet of people like me. No, not like me, but a facet of people who are similar to me who follow Rutgers. Don't forget, Pat Flaherty is coaching at Rutgers. So, and they're going to say he's right down the road. I'm not saying go get him, but they're going to make an argument. Hey, there's a Super Bowl winning offensive line coach right there in Piscataway. If he's not getting the job done, we need to go get him, per se.
honestly, like, well, I mean, they actually had Flaherty in like 2021 as an assistant. So, I get what you're saying, coach. Assistant offensive line coach, yeah, with whoever I think it was Rob.
It was not with Judge, but that was judged. I'm not talking about.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm just like also, what they could do, and Bobby Johnson would take offense to this, and this is a long shot. It's not going to happen, but if Bobby Johnson starts struggling. My dream wish, even before Johnson was the O-line coach, was Mike Munchak. But the problem is he's probably with his kids now, and he probably wants to enjoy that life. And I think there's another name people were throwing out there, but Munchak was my dream O-line coach.
Good, honey.
I looked up Bill Callahan because that's been my dream coach always for the Giants to get, but he just signed an extension this offseason apparently with the Browns because a couple of teams want to talk to him about being OC.
Yeah, and the reason, Drew, we didn't get him, this is a fun fact, is because Jason Garrett and him were on the outs in 2020, even before that.
Yep.
So that's why they hired Colombo, and we all saw how that ended.
Yeah, in the fist fight.
Good to do a little clapping for that one.
But are we talking about Bobby Johnson as the O-line coach?
Yeah, just like players' progression.
Talking about some of the mistakes that need correcting, and if we can see him on film as fans, then he's definitely got to be able to see him, and he definitely needs to address him. Otherwise, what the hell are you getting paid for?
Yeah, I mean, I like Bobby Johnson as a coach. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one of the things I was pointing out is Rizzuto's elbows. If you look at the film, defensive linemen are able to get underneath him and get control of him. So, and if Drew and I could pick that up,
and Evan Neal got the happy feet.
So why isn't he picking it up? But again, I don't know. I don't know if he is picking it up and it's just not sinking in with Rizzuto. But that's an issue for me. I think we throw DeVito into the fire versus the Panthers and Jets starters and see if he. No, Starter's got to get work. I'm not trying to send them out against Dallas and not getting any work.
Right.
You'll probably see him more. You'll probably see him more against the Jets because I don't think that. I mean, I don't know that the Jets will play their starters. I think they are that game. I can't say for sure.
Well, that'll be their fourth game.
Yeah.
We got joint practices with the Jets too, don't we? I thought.
No, not this year.
No.
I thought I
they
heard we
actually
were
just
gonna have
had
one
today with the Bucks, but what was I gonna say? As far as like DeVito goes and all that stuff, that's the Giants probably won't play their starters too much against the Jets because it's that closer to the Dallas game. So I don't see the Giants. I see that. But yeah, that's probably DeVito's last chance.
See, my question with that is, don't we have the bye in between the last preseason game and the first game of the season? So if you do that, aren't you really giving them 2 weeks off?
Basically, yeah.
Good point. That's another good point. But also, if you factor in, actually last year was different because we did have the joint practices, and then they didn't play the starters. Only a handful played. But yeah,
so it's hard to know right now. This game is going to tell us, though. I think, if we play the starters and say they play a half and part of the third quarter, then I'm not expecting them in the Jets game. I'm not.
Of course.
Or maybe one drive and then that's about it. If that. So yeah, I wouldn't expect much, but
I just want DJ nowhere near the backup lineman right now. And I'm taking the risk of him.
Right.
I think every last one of these fans would run out of the stands and grab Dable and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
He's as bad as the Adoree Jackson punt returning right after that, probably.
Man, that was on Adoree Jackson, though, man. He shouldn't try to return that.
You don't put an injury-prone player that you need in that position.
If that's the case, then he shouldn't be playing football. If you worry about injuries, then you shouldn't play him. I get it. I mean, I've always been a proponent.
All right, D-Dan, thank you for the support.
Yep. Good night,
he's a playmaker. I get it. I understand you put a playmaker back there. He got hurt. It's part of the game. But I understand the fan base. You want to see Adoree out there and all this and that. But if Adoree broke it and returned it for a touchdown, wouldn't anybody be saying this? Wouldn't be talking like this. Oh, he shouldn't have been out there because he could have got hurt. No, you would be loving it. Dable, that was a genius putting him out there because he sparked the made a play. So if it's an injury, it happens.
I still kind of want to see Jalen Hyatt this year do some punt returning. I think that'd be interesting.
You can't say that all the time, Coach. Sorry, Drew, because
You're
when
good.
you quarterback sneak your quarterback 3 times in the damn row and try to get his head tore off.
Oh my gosh.
But what did you say, Drew? You like to see who at punt returns?
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hyatt would be nice.
But does he have
speed? He's got the open moves.
Does he have the awareness to read the block and get up the field? I don't know. Has he ever done that in his career?
Let me check if he did that at Tennessee.
Because it's more than just having speed when it comes to damn punt return and kick return.
I was looking at the way he is as a receiver too. He's very good when he got open field. So,
but it's tracking the ball in the air, and the ball is totally different than as opposed to a spiral. And punters now are doing different things with that.
They're doing knuckleballs now.
Yeah, it's crazy. College.
Yep.
That's what he did.
Nope. Hold on. No. Okay. No, he didn't. Jones was there. Jones was their punt returner.
Okay.
But it would be interesting. I mean, spice it up a little bit. It would be interesting to see what he can do. Because if he does hit a seam, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that.
Christine Tyrod was last year, his first year with the Giants, so that's on Joe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tyrod was just a veteran backup, man. But looks like Tyrod has lost a little bit of that magic that he had when he was playing with the Bills and the Chargers and the Browns.
Would we prefer we re-sign Glennon? I mean, seriously?
Thrill is gone.
Right. Glennon's even worse.
No matter what, he's an upgrade.
Don't nobody know about no damn BB King, nigga. Oh no, wait, that was Fast Domino. Yeah, sorry.
What about Fast Domino, Lou?
I said, don't nobody know about no BB King or Fast Domino.
What's up, dude? Why you asking about that?
Okay, no, cause I just said the thrill is gone.
Oh.
Thrill is gone.
Yeah, Tyrod he had is gone, man. Tyrod looks bad in camp and in the regular preseason game. Yeah, but let's talk about Dabo.
Doctor tried to kill you.
Wait a minute. Before we do that, make sure y'all hit those like buttons, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure you subscribe to everyone on this panel. Please, we're the Big Blue Crew, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, let's talk about Dabo in mid-season form before we go ahead and kick this one off. We've been on for almost 2 hours now. Dabo was in mid-season form. That offensive line really, really pissed him off. And then on top of that, the special teams coach pissed him off by letting a punt return happen, even though you can't blame that on the coach for missed tackles.
Good for you.
You can't blame the special teams coach for missed tackles, I guess, but the look that he gave that special teams coach was absolutely hilarious. It was like, man, you let this happen again, I promise you won't be here next year. So, the special teams. Can the special teams be harmful to the Giants season this year?
Man, hell yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's 1/3 of the whole team process.
Yep.
I mean,
now, I'm going to say this.
Guys, go ahead.
I was going to say on that punt return, because one thing I haven't really seen talked about very much that I didn't like personally when I rewatched that play like 5 times trying to look at what was going on. I admit freely that I despise the Scottish Hammer with a passion, like no other player on that roster for some reason. It's a weird thing, I know. But if you look at where that ball was caught, There was a good 20 yards between the returner and the first Giant.
Yeah, he outkicked his coverage for sure.
That's don't get me wrong. The missed tackles were an issue as well. But if you look at a lot of the missed tackles, they were getting blocked off to the side as well while they were trying to tackle. It wasn't pure like they were wide open and the guy just happened to make the miss.
Correction, one did.
That's I said most.
Yeah, because it was the long snapper who dipped his head and just went straight to the ground, not looking at his tackle, which allowed the return guy to go. If he at least keeps his head up, he grabs cloth, we can rally. But go ahead.
You can't. But I'm saying you can't give a returner 20 yards of open field for that return team to go ahead and set up for a return. That's never going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but the Scottish Hammer, I got to say again, just got to go. He's got to go, man. He's not good. He can kick the ball long, and that's it. He takes too long to kick it. He just cannot hit a corner. Cannot do it right.
He was directionally a little bit more in that game. He was, because I paid attention to that. Now, not coffin corner. He wasn't coffin corner, but he was kicking it left and right. He wasn't kicking it straight down the middle of the field. So I give him that, but I'm with you. I've always had issues with him. The inconsistency. You have power, but you don't know how to control it and use it the right way. And with that power, what he needs to do is not kick for distance, kick for height. Because if you kick for height, that allows your returns to get down there.
Now, I did an unofficial hang time because I never saw the hang time on it. So I literally paused it using my phone to see what it was. I came up with 4.83 second hang time, which isn't bad. Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
But when you kick it 65 yards, that's the problem.
But that's still power. So with that same power, with that distance, you can still now. That means you can probably get it over 5 seconds.
Yep, that's what I'm saying though. I'm with you 100%. If he had done I would have preferred like a 58-yard punt and a 5.1 second hang time. Mm-hmm. That would have made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, because they would have been down there to tackle.
Exactly. And the return team would have a chance to set up to block the would-be tacklers in the process, which is what happened. Like I said, there was a missed tackle in the very beginning, as you pointed out, Coach. But a lot of the guys, if you look, those guys were getting hit as they went to tackle. It wasn't like they were wide open and just missed a wide open field tackle like that. That wasn't the scenario. To me, that a lot of that play was on the punter. And I admit freely I'm biased. I hate the guy. But to me, a lot of that was on the punter. At least I'm honest about it. At least I'm honest.
By the way, anybody know T-Mac is not on the hot seat. Dable even said afterwards, no, that happens. He's passionate. He holds every coach and every player accountable. That's what the head coach is supposed to do. And, he said he loves T-Mac. And T-Mac also said that happens. That's in football. He has no problems with Dable doing that, basically. So I wouldn't either. If I was the special teams and the coach was looking at me like that, make sure, look, you better get in there and fix that. Because if I come in there as a head coach, I'm fixing it and you're going to be having a seat, young man. And that's the worst thing you do to a coach. That is the worst thing to do a head coach can do, is to come in and fix your position group or your side of the ball.
You ain't lying. You're on your way out the door if he do that.
And your players are looking at you like, hey, coach, damn, man, you, and they lose respect in you. They lose respect of you. So,
yeah. And T-Mac's a very widely respected special teams coach. We got a chance last year to talk to Britton Golden. If you guys remember him, he was on with us for a little bit there. And rave reviews he gave about T-Mac. Like, he was like, and we'd even ask him a question about him. We're just like, let's talk about special teams. Like, T-Mac's the greatest. T-Mac's the greatest. Like immediately, went into amazing words on this man.
So is it a personnel issue then?
Well, here's what the thing as well. We have a bad roster last year, correct? We still have some depth issues.
Very bad roster.
But we have some depth issues this year as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who goes on special teams?
Well, if we're making sense of it, I looked at the who was specifically on the coverage and everything. It wasn't core special team. It was not Cam Brown. It was not Carter Coughlin. So you can attribute that to that. I mean, Tamon Fox may have been on there, who's a guy who's in kick coverage, but other than that, you got a bunch of guys just competing for the roster. Bryce Ford Wheaton and Cam Lyons and Deontay Johnson. So
And hey, they caught it then. The bottom line, they caught us then. If you have all those guys, they're professionals. They should be doing their job. So I'm not excusing them. But in the same token, there is a level down and up, and the level was down, and he outkicked the coverage. They also were getting blocked. You had that one missed tackle, and you have guys who are fighting to get to stay on the team, and they're trying to do something, and they didn't produce, plain and simple. So
And
so
I
Where's the
mean,
punt god? Where's the punt god? Let's bring the punt god in. Come on, he's free again.
oh yeah, that is right. He
Matarazia.
did get, yeah. Reezy is out there. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind bringing him in. I mean, he got acquitted of all his charges. Turned out that most of it was not true, so I wouldn't mind bringing him in. At least I know we got a good punter. I don't like the Scottish Hammer either, but some of those guys out there, they got to do their job, man. They be missing tackles. They be doing some stupid stuff on special teams. I'm gonna be honest with you. On kickoff return and punt return, it's just some dumb stuff.
Maybe we
But
should have special.
But again, our depth has been an issue. Those are the guys you put out there as your backups typically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why guys like you mentioned Cam Brown a minute ago. I mean, Cam Brown has been on this team because of the fact he plays special teams well. Let's be honest. He's not on there to be a linebacker.
Nope, he's played special teams well, and that's
Carter
why he's
Coughlin,
going to
he's on
continue
there
to
for
be on
special
the team.
teams.
Yeah, that's why they're going to continue to make this team. To be honest with you. One last thing I want to get into before we get off here. Dable was really handed it to the offensive line. The first preseason game. It was a couple assignments missed. And coach, I want to ask you this: were some of those assignments missed because they just weren't good at doing their job, or were Smiths not giving them the right assignments in the beginning of the snap?
Dable also said communication with Smith was out. It was fine. So that to me goes into execution, because if Smitty is making the right calls, then Pat, I was talking about it. There was that one play that we ran our running back right into an unblocked linebacker, and I'm saying, is that power? Are we supposed to pull the backside guard now? If the call was no, if he's supposed to know that and he just didn't, then that's on the guard. That's not on the center, because he knows the call, he knows the assignment. For example, if you say 36 power, you know center doesn't even need to make a call. We know it's power the guard is supposed to pull. Plain and
Right.
simple. And the only thing I was saying is also with the work in the double team, coming off to the backside linebacker. Other than that, I think it was now execution. I don't think it was Schmitz. For those of you who don't know, I say Schmitty. He's making the right calls. He's making the right call to identify who the mic is, and the line. Making the right checks with the quarterback. And besides, you don't know you had Tyrod. Let me back up there. This week I will see. DJ's out there. DJ will overrule him if he needs to, making the wrong call. But I think it's execution, Pat. I really do. I think it's execution. It's not Schmitz with his call.
And so if it's execution, that means we got to get some new people in here, some new blood in here after this year. Because we can't really do anything about this year. We got what we got, so we're gonna have to roll with what we got as far as the backups. I think the starting lineup will be okay.
Oh yeah,
I think they will be better than 30th or 31st this year for sure.
I'm still psyched we got JMS. That was a freaking steal to get him.
Right.
Absolute steal. He looked really good in the limited action he had. I mean, I know PFF gave him a really high rating for the pass protection. They gave him kind of a lower grade for run. But I never really trust PFF 100% for a run grade, because, you don't know where he was supposed to go and who he was supposed to block. Unless you know the play, you can't grade him on what he's doing. Pass is easier. It's just don't let the guy get past you.
Right.
It's a little easier to grade that. You can't grade really run blocking without knowing the play.
All I know is on those runs that we got stuff, Schmitz had people on skates. He pushed this dude like 4 yards down the field. He was the only one that looked good on that play. So I truly believe we have our center for the future. We have our left tackle for the future, and right tackle. I believe we have our right tackle for the future. You just got to get a couple of things going. The guard positions. Those guard positions are really scaring me this year. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe Ben Bredesen takes over the left guard position, and maybe Glowinski has a resurgence and starts earning that contract. And if he does, we're okay. If those two guys play good, we're okay. And I think we'll beat anybody if those two guys play good, because Daniel Jones with time with these weapons is going to be an absolute problem. An absolute problem. I see that's the only way you're really going to stop us, if you get mad pressure against us this year. But, Alex, you got anything to say before we get up out of here, get our last words before we get up out of here?
No, not really. I mean, it's always fun talking with the panel. It's the first time I've been on with Drew. He's always in my chats. Joking
I'm everywhere.
Around.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, he's
right.
everywhere.
I'm like a plague upon Giants kind.
But I can't wait to see. I think the starters are going to play mostly on Friday. I can't wait to see it. So hopefully they get a. I'm going to shout this out, and I shouldn't, but anyway, hopefully they get a preseason win the day before my birthday. So
okay, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe, you got anything before we leave?
Nope.
All right,
Just saying. I don't. Lou.
You still there? Nah, Lou must be gone.
Yeah, he must be.
Coach.
I'm just ready for Friday to see what we have in store, and if the starters are out there, I just want to see the execution more than anything. Win, lose, or draw. That's all I want to see. I just want to see how they execute, and then I'll take it from there.
Cool. Drew, what you got for us?
So I'll say the biggest thing I'm really hoping for in this game here is Evan Neal gets a chance to play, and we see an improved version of Evan Neal, because I've said it all along this offseason. I'll continue to say it. Evan Neal will decide how good this line is in the end. We already know what Thomas is. Having a second bookend, even if he's an average right tackle in this league, is going to make a world of difference for this line. So hopefully we get to see him. Hopefully he gets our spirits up, and hopefully we see the starters for just one or two series here to get a little bit of game time action, maybe a little Darren Waller touchdown to start the game off. It'd be nice.
It would be very nice. It would be very nice to see a Jalen Hyatt bomb in the very first series. That would be very nice as well.
Luckily, you're not on a plane, by the way. So you can't say bomb on a plane.
Right.
Hey, Shane Lemieux is 74.5 grade.
Man, Shane Lemieux. Are you serious?
Listen, Shane Lemieux plays one game, gets hurt, plays one game, gets hurt, plays one game, gets hurt. He needs to be off of everybody's plans.
Wow. And they said he's an 85 in the pass block.
Hell no.
This preseason game.
In the preseason, yeah.
What, 85 out of 1,000?
He had 27 snaps. I don't know. 27 snaps, 74.5 overall grade, 85 in the pass, 67.1 in the run block.
Yeah, somebody's on drugs.
The only thing he blocks well is other people from getting around the buffet table at the Golden Corral.
Right. Yeah, he need to go too. But I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We get head out. Got a long day tomorrow. Work, and then gotta do a carpet cleaning job, man. I'm gonna be tired as a mug, so I'll be late to Lou's show tomorrow night, the Big Blue Lounge. Tune in on G Nation Inside Sports Channel tomorrow. I already know the schedule, so I will be a little late, but I will be there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got up to 70 people tonight. Pretty good. Thank you, Drew, for coming through. Alex, thank you for coming through. Coach, everybody, and we get ready to get out of here. So, you know how we end things here, man. Yeah. Welcome to the Gulag.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates!